function is def item subtotal. Let me just copy and paste the explanation here because it will be easy for all of us if I don't make a mistake. This here, I just copy and paste it from here, okay? Because this is what we need to calculate the subtotal of an item. We need the item itself. We need to see how many items are we going to charge. We need to see if this item have any discount or not, okay? So as we mentioned before, the first thing that we have to do is like create our set of inputs, rows, and returns. So we can, every time that we feel lost in the development of our function, we can go back here and see what are we working on, what do we need, what should be our output. So this one is very simple. We just need to go through every items in our item subtotal and calculate in our every items and see multiplying the amount of item that we need to charge for the price of the item, and it will return the subtotal of this item. Okay. So. And it needs to be round to decimal. This is very important. So, first thing first, name, quantity, unit price. We need to unpack our item. So we have our item here. What do we need? We need to first check how many items are we going to charge, okay? Because we cannot see the price of the whole item, because remember we have some items here in our bag of get one buy one for free. I don't know, this name I always forget. So the first thing, charge units be equal to the function that we already created here to see how many items we are going to use. And we pass it item and the bag of items. Okay, pass that, and after we have div, we only have to see subtotal. It will be equal to charge units times unit price. Okay, now we have the subtotal of the whole amount, but we also need to check if this item we have is in any category with discount. Okay, so the first we need to check if we have category discount that we have here. If category discount is not none and category discount. So what we mentioned here, if one of our categories, if one of the categories of our items is inside the category discounts, we need to apply the discount. Okay, we need to apply the discount for this. And how do we apply this? The discount is subtotal. It will be equal to subtotal times 1 minus category discount in category. What are we saying here? Okay, this is the tricky part of this function. Here we are mentioning the following. If our category is inside our category discount dictionary, we want to calculate the subtotal. How are we going to calculate the subtotal? The subtotal will be the subtotal that we have times the subtotal that we have minus the discount. Okay, if our subtotal was I don't know, $100 and our discount is 10%, we want to 100 times 100 minus 10, they will give us 0.9, and if we multiply the 100 times 0.9, they will give us 90. So we decrease the 10% from our subtotal. There is an easy way to express this. That is how I like to do it, actually. That is very much easier. Is subtotal equal 1 minus category discount, category. So here we are saying exactly the same as here, but it's a little bit cleaner for me. Unless for me it's clear that I want to decrease only 90%, only 10% from my subtotal. Okay, so this is what I'm doing here, and at the end we should return a subtotal. But if we remember here, it must be 2 decimal points, so round the subtotal times 2 decimal points, and that will give us 2 decimal points from subtotal. Okay, now we already have our second function. Let's test it. Let's see how it goes. Item subtotal is this one here. Let's test it. We have to import it here. Item subtotal, so we can use it. Item subtotal. Okay, let's try it. And we see here we calculate all the subtotals and with 2 decimal points. We have our second function ready to go. The third function is calculate the subtotal of a basket. What is a basket? A basket is like a box with a lot of items. So this one is one of the most simple functions because we only have to loop for every item in the basket, calculating its subtotal. Okay, so let's find the function. Let's copy and paste it because it will be easier. Avoid typos, and just copy and paste the rules of the function. I always like to have it, the rule of the function. You should always try to write it down yourself. Subtotal, let's say basket subtotal will be equal 0 in case we have no items. We say for item in basket, for every item in basket, the subtotal, basket subtotal, it will be basket subtotal plus item subtotal. We will pass these elements to item subtotals. Okay, now we already passed the item subtotal, and finally return round basket subtotal times 2. Here he already came with 2 decimal, but I always want to make sure that we round it again just in case. And here the basket, he mentioned that I have to be with 2. So here is the same scenario than here. We can do this, or we can do only this. It's the same, increasing our subtotal times this amount that we will give. And we already have the basket subtotal. If we test it, test it